This is a disclaimer. This podcast features 4 professional idiots who share their insights and anecdotes. This podcast is intended for entertainment purposes only. This podcast represents the opinions of the guests and should not be taken as medical, legal, or professional advice.
You mean the verbal diarrhea? You said liquid gold.
The gold diarrhea coming out of your mouth.
Yes.
It's liquid. That's for
John
sure.
will be here in a moment. Let me call him. And also I gotta get my coffee, so I'm tired. I'll be back.
I'm just pulling up some of the sources that I'm going to put in the chat for later.
What's the subject again today? Because I've been kicking around all different stuff in my head.
I think it's insurance sucks is today, which is why I'm here.
Oh, I got that one cold. I could talk about that for hours.
Same.
So I called him. He did not answer. Which is very unlike him. He's actually usually very punctual.
That's a good sign, right? He doesn't answer.
I don't remember if he said he had something before this, so I might just be jumping the gun since we're 10 minutes early.
It sounds like he'll be here. It's just early yet.
Dude.
Maybe he walked away from his phone or he's
He'll
getting
be here.
showered off or
It's just
something.
early. I just don't know how to send him the link. How are you guys?
Doing okay.
I'm fantastic.
Awesome.
I found something at my firm that I had to tell people about, and there's an entire type of appeal that we've been doing that we shouldn't have been doing the whole time.
Oh no. What does that mean?
Isn't it amazing when you're a young lawyer and you find something that you've been doing and that you find out that everybody's been doing it wrong the whole time and they didn't know they were doing it wrong?
Yeah, and they've been doing it wrong for the last 6
That's
years.
terrifying.
Yeah, I was at a firm where I found the same issue, similar issue, but not the same.
Mm-hmm.
Good lord.
Yeah,
It turns out. Yeah, so I don't have anything comparable to that.
Yeah, it turns out Maryland MCOs, the managed care organizations that handle Medicaid for the state, they implemented a rule from CMS in like 2016 that says they're not allowed to do observation time. So observation hours over 24 hours, you're just literally not allowed to bill for that at all.
Oh.
According to the state.
So if they get audited.
Right, and so we've been filing appeals up to this point and saying, hey, you have to pay all this observation time, guys. This observation time is, it was reasonable and medically necessary. And it all was, but the problem is that the state's saying, nope, doesn't matter if it's necessary, we're not paying it.
State says, no, it's not. Oh, no. So I shouldn't include this part in the podcast.
I mean, all the money that we have obtained from those appeals has either has been or will be probably recouped by audits in a normal process. Nobody's going to get hurt. The money's going to go back to whoever is supposed to have it. I'm just preventing our firm from wasting a giant amount of time in the future, which is nice.
I mean, isn't that... Well, that in and of itself is still good, because it's...
I mean, you're getting paid for the time that you were doing to make the appeals that got them the money back, right?
Complicated. Kind of, but not really.
The fee structure is more complicated than that. Got it. Understood.
Yeah.
I'm just a dumbass hourly biller, so I don't know about other fee arrangements than billing for my time.
When we recover things, but we have a process so that when something gets recouped by an audit at a later time, so if that money gets taken back, the hospital has a way to take that money back from us. So it automatically fixes itself, basically.
Strange thing was, all right, so I was representing one of my clients in a matter that was outside of kind of my scope of training. So I was doing some transfers of real estate into a corporation, and it had to deal with farmland. So I had to do a deep dive to figure out what I was supposed to do and how to do it right. Come to find out, this former firm, not the firm I'm at, there were about 120 plus files where we'd been doing it wrong. So, because I involved a paralegal who was a very experienced real estate paralegal and, worked with another attorney on estate planning for farmers. So, yeah, there was about 120 files that had to be reviewed, and these forms that I learned you had to have started filing about, I don't know, 4 or 5 years before needed to be filed every year. Every year.
Oh my.
And so,
John's.
Yeah. And I did one.
Good.
I did one. That was the last one. And then I let them go fix their own problem that I discovered that they had that they didn't know they had. And I had to convince a longtime partner of that firm that he was wrong and I was right. And when you do that to someone and you blow their mind that they've been doing it wrong, something wrong for so long, that there's 2 ways you can take it, right? You can either go, gosh darn it, I'm so glad we got this guy here. He's catching some of these things so that we do things the right way. And then there's the other way.
Or you can go. Yeah.
And I bet you know how that partner took it. It wasn't the way that I suggested.
Is that the toxic one where you ended up getting, like, you left to go into, like, oh my god, I can't even remember what it's called anymore.
No. I left to make my own whole entire practice separate and apart from theirs. Toxic.
Oh, it's like the best unfortunate thing to ever happen to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes.
Silver lining.
Indeed.
All right, here we go. I found John.
Like the toilet or like a person named John?
I found both.
Both.
My coffee's doing its job.
That's where you
have to leave
sit.
here in a second.
That's where he sits. He sits on the John while he doesn't have to leave.
I don't.
Why do you think John's such a good friend?
It looks like a gaming chair, but really it's like that episode of South Park where the hole's cut out of the bottom.
So you do this off a PC then, right, Dan?
Yeah, I do it off a Mac.
Oh, a Mac. Oh, great. Apple product. Mm-hmm. Okay.
It's fine. I mean, oh shoot. Hold on, can you guys hear me still?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, damn it.
Damn it, you weren't supposed to.
No, it's not that. It's I forgot how Discord works because we haven't used it in so long, and I'm not good about using Discord. I forget how to invite people. Okay, anyways, I need to post the link to John. No, John is so this is not the bully pulpit for John. He is not the person we were supposed to bully in the insurance sucks episode, even though he works for an insurance company.
I'm sure he knows exactly how much
I
they
can't
suck.
make any promises.
I'm gonna bully him a little bit. He's one of our like 12 fans, so.
Oh, we don't want to bully him that much, then, huh?
he is at least 30 of our downloads. Okay.
The appropriate amount of bullying, then.
Yes.
Only the appropriate amount.
Pat, the amount you bully me, probably reasonable. Probably very reasonable.
Don't worry, I won't yell at him about how dare he deny my appeals.
Hey, John, I'm Patrick. I'm Dan's older brother.
Nice to meet you, Patrick.
Hi, John. I'm
Another dude.
Dan's friend Alex, who randomly became friends with him because we were neighbors briefly.
Oh my god, did we talk about that story on the podcast? I think we did. About how you just came to your neighbor. We're in. Yeah, I think you're right. And you're like, I was getting out of the shower or something, and you're like, who is this naked? I had a towel on or something. I don't remember.
You had a towel on.
Point is,
and that's it.
Okay, that's got it.
And me and my wife just standing there.
You weren't who I thought you were going to be.
Sure enough.
It was also like 105 degrees out, and you guys were standing there sweating, and I'm like, just wait there for a few more minutes. Okay, so I don't remember my Apple login, so I can't get this thing. Oh no, my face.
Something you should look at. I didn't say it was something you should do right this second, otherwise your life didn't depend upon it, type shit.
Listening skills.
I mean, I was thinking of buying you a soundboard, and then I'm scrolling and Googling through one and seeing that you could potentially get an app that you could have on your Mac that acts as a soundboard, and that you could also import different noises and quotes and things. But cool. If you price one, if you find one that you really like, I'll get it for you for Christmas, and we can expense it. We can write it off. It's not a gift. It's actually a purchase for the corporation that you're working on forming, called.
Oh yeah, the LLC. I definitely got.
Qualified Idiots LLC that you filed with the State Attorney General's Office of the Great State of Arizona. It's in process. Yes.
Delaware.
No,
Always
not
Delaware.
just Patrick. Jesus.
It's in the pre-contemplative
Delaware,
right.
Arizona. Who gives a shit? It's just someplace.
You can go online and
it's
form an
probably
LLC
incredibly
in
easy.
Delaware in 30 minutes. No, it's literally 30 minutes, and they don't even require
You know
IT.
You know what's funny is we had that conversation on the podcast, and obviously I have my phone next to me. Ever since then, YouTube has been sending me ads on how easy it is to start an LLC.
Of course it has.
Oh my god.
All the time.
It's listening
and
to
it's
you.
like, oh, okay, all right. The algorithms.
Did you run a single Google search on how to start an LLC at some point as well? Because if you did, that's why, for sure.
Oh, that's what a bully pulpit is. I did not know that was. Okay. I've been using that term wrong my entire life. Cool.
Oh, this is so much worse.
Oh no, he's gone.
Did he cut out? Oh no.
He died.
Oh no. Not the router.
Technology. Alex, come back.
I believe in you, Alex.
I don't. Has nothing to do with him. It's only the goddamn internet.
All right, I should be back.
Is
now.
he back?
I should be.
Yes.
I don't know why the delay suddenly got
it's
way
funny
the hell worse on that, so I switched back.
Okay.
Is it worse
we've
now?
got one option that's bad. We've got another option that's worse.
Apparently.
No. John and I played pickleball together on just a happenstance. Me and PJ went and just were trying it out, and John basically taught us the game. And I've been trying to find a sport that I could play into my 60s, 70s without destroying my body more than I already have. So,
I don't know, man. You've hit yourself quite a few times with the paddle.
Okay, hitting myself with the paddle is not the same as like tearing a ligament. Although that tooth is
I don't
still,
know how hard you hit.
that tooth is still a little loose. There was one particular play where it was just an awkward shot. Somebody lobbed the ball behind me and I had to run back, kind of like you see in tennis where they like hit it between their legs.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I had to do was I was like trying to do a lob back just because I was in such an awkward position. And so the paddle went straight up and like I jostled my side or my leg and the fucking paddle hit me square in the face and like kind of knocked one of my teeth a little loose.
Ouch. Terrifying.
And I was like It hurt really bad, but it was more like getting stunned of like unexpectedly getting hit in the face in a game of not contact. And I was trying to figure out what happened. I was worried I was concussed at first, but really I just kind of fucked up my tooth. Patrick's back.
Well,
thank you for your patience.
I'm glad that your tooth is okay.
I am prepared to proceed.
Yeah, no,
it's alright. You just missed the story of your brother hitting himself in the face.
Sensitive.
That actually is not really shocking to me at all.
Fuck you. Shut the fuck up. Welcome back, everyone, to Overqualified Idiots. We have a special episode for you today. If you're new to the podcast, this is a podcast where medicine, law, pharmacy, and engineering come together to share our stories, shoot the breeze, and remind everyone that as educated and highly trained as we are still a bunch of dumb guys. I am joined, of course, by my brother, Patrick JD.
That's me.
Yay. You look good, dude. How are you doing, man?
I'm doing very well. Working out and having dogs that bark. Fuck.
I see that you've gotten that office and recording studio going nicely.
Yeah, fuck you.
Mute, unmute. And, of course, Alex JD.
Hello. On a very long delay.
Yeah, I'm just gonna. If it sounds funky, it's because I have to edit 3 seconds off of him every time we speak at him. And we have a very special guest today. Because we have a very special episode. My personal friend, John.
Hello. I'm excited to be here. Excited to get bullied. Thanks for having me.
Yes, we are going to throw verbal tomatoes at John all day today because the episode today is Insurance Sucks. As you probably already read the title. Ultimately, John, tell me who. You don't have to say who you work for. I feel like I'm not going to. Obviously, none of us. Every time we mention a company we work for, I bleep it out. But you could say, who you are, what you do. I'll let you take the floor.
Yeah. So I'm John. I'm an actuary. I work for a mid-sized health plan in the state of Arizona. And most of my day involves working with spreadsheets and numbers for insurance. It's just a lot of fun.
And so he is the face of insurance, and we're going to talk shit about him all day today. So, not true, because can you kind of explain what an actuary is and what an actuary does?
Yeah, so an actuary is just a mathematician that works for insurance companies, and their main function is to quantify risk and basically tell whatever company they're working for to like how much money they need to hold in reserves, and then figure out how much their products need to cost so that they have enough money to cover the liabilities for their insurance contract.
So you're almost like
CEOs large sums of money.
Yes.
Oh, you're the one who decides that, not the CEO.
Well, I don't decide how much the
doesn't.
CEO gets paid.
No.
No, I heard what I heard. I know what you said. So you work a lot with spreadsheets, with math, with crunching numbers. How good are you at math, John?
It depends on who you ask.
I asked this question just because I know.
Do I know how to keep a score in pickleball? No.
No. God, you really don't. The even is on this side, the odd is on that side. John, what's wrong with you? Anyways, so ultimately, actuaries are kind of people who decide what plans cost, how much to hold on to for the insurance company to pay out to beneficiaries. And I'm willing to bet there's a lot of complicated math that goes on in order to make those decisions.
Yeah, I mean, some of the math is complicated. I guess that also depends on who you ask. It's a lot of fun learning it, though. And then once you understand it, it's kind of nice.
And this is going to sound... Is there a lot of your job you have to learn as you do it or on the fly?
I mean, yes and no. I mean, a lot of it comes down to learning from experience and learning from credentialed actuaries that you work for. But then a lot of it is I don't know how to do this one particular thing, so I just need to figure it out.
And you said credentialed, so is that your boss or someone who oversees you?
Yeah, so actuaries have a process of credentialing. There are 2 major societies in the United States that oversee it. There's a Society of Actuaries, which focuses on general insurance, life insurance, and investment risk. There's a name for it. Quantitative finance.
Okay.
And enterprise risk management. And then there's the Casualty Actuarial Society, which handles casualty, obviously, and other related insurance products.
What is enterprise risk management? Those just sound like buzz terms.
It's like trying to determine what will make a company solvent. So basically looking at extreme events for a company and saying, okay, well, we definitely need to have this much money on hand just in case this one really rare thing happens. I guess that's I don't know much about enterprise risk management.
Oh, so that's not you.
Yeah, it's not me.
Okay.
My focus is health insurance.
Well, in that case, with health insurance, I just got a very important question for you, John. Why does health insurance suck so much?
I think the biggest reason it sucks is when you expect it to work the way you expect it to, and it doesn't.
So why? Obviously, you price fix or price fix. That's not the right word. Maybe you do price fix.
No,
I don't know.
No, that was accurate. Don't roll back from that. You said the right thing. They fix prices.
So at this point, yeah, this is where we bully him. Apparently,
Mm-hmm.
I have an outline of how I want this episode to go and the things I want to touch on. I think right now in America, health insurance is one of those things where it is an awful experience for anyone who's ever had to deal with it, for the vast majority of people, because it almost feels like, as a health, whether you're on the health side of things and doing what I do, whether you're on the patient side of things and trying to get the company you pay monthly premiums to pay for the things they say they're going to pay to, then you get all these roadblocks, prior auths, appeals, peer-to-peers, all these things we have to do and hoops we have to jump through for them to allegedly do the things that on their loving, sweet commercials say they're going to do without any problem. So, obviously, you're not the guy denying claims, I think. I'm
definitely not that person.
He's not sitting there with
we'd be having a very different conversation.
He's not sitting there with a big stamp that says denied and just slamming it on every paper. Certain companies, I guess I shouldn't name them. Oh yeah, no, I can name them. Cigna and United Healthcare, who are currently embroiled in several lawsuits in regards to that exact practice. I know that's not your part of the job, but can you speak to that at all, as far as like the lawsuits that have been going on since March?
Do you guys take into account like the denial rates that like the actual like claims representatives are issuing on that stuff?
I mean, when it comes to my function, not really. We only look at claims that have been paid, and I don't know if there are really large denial rates for the company that I work for. But
I can speak to that. The answer is no.
Oh, good.
The company you work for, at least in my experience, and I obviously take that with a grain of salt, it's limited, has been fantastic. So hence why you're here. If you worked for United Healthcare, Cigna, I'd probably just punch you. I don't know. Not really. But ultimately,
the general rule that I've found seems to be that
sorry.
Yeah, the smaller ones tend to actually like do their fucking job a little bit more because they actually are trying to compete for hospitals, whereas the really big ones are like, nah, we don't have to get good customer service to hospitals. Fuck them. They have to come to us.
Too big to fail. So to give some context to what I'm talking about, too big to give some context, since March, United Healthcare was basically under fire and under lawsuit from beneficiaries claiming that they were just denying claims. One, without reading them, and two, at a rate that is higher than what their plans say. And there's another part to it that I don't recall as far as like how they were skirting the rules in terms of, let me actually pull up that legal document. Class action lawsuit accuses United Healthcare Group of underpaying claims for out-of-network care. So because they're out of network, they're claiming that they can pay a smaller percentage than they even are required to. So there seems to be multiple factors to it. I don't know if you wanted to speak to any of that, because it's kind of a big deal.
I mean, I don't know what I can say.
I don't work for them. I don't know that guy. I don't know him. I know nothing. So,
yeah, I don't really know what I can say about United Healthcare.
I'd just say that that's not uncommon for all insurance companies across the board. Not just the health insurance claims, but also on the casualty side, like John was touching on. They're the big ones, the fuzzy ones, Nationwide's on your side, State Farm with their, their beautiful commercials with all of the expensive athletes that have to be in them, Allstate, etc. They deny claims as a matter of course and will stonewall, especially if you're not their insured making a claim. So it's not unusual or uncommon, but in the health insurance side of things, I would think that that's far more insidious than on the car accident and personal injury side.
I don't know if it was entirely United.
An article that's
go ahead,
on
Alex.
point for this, but I've got an article that I had put in the Discord chat that is pretty much on point for this. It's the Cigna one that's in Discord. But I mean, the health insurer that was one of their doctors, it was like their medical director or like one of their like medical staff who was supposed to be reviewing claims, and it turned out that doctor had denied 60,000 claims in a single month.
There's no way you can read that many claims in a year. I'm not sure. God. So he's taking a rubber stamp and hitting deny.
Exactly. And the thing is that Cigna designed their system in such a way that made it much easier for someone to abuse the system like this. They added a denial button that you could press without ever opening the medical record or anything else related to a given claim. You didn't even have to read it.
Well, it's not legal.
And they put a button up top that would say, you can just push this to deny the claim without opening anything.
That's what I suspected.
That's
just
absurd.
literally click X, X, X.
Man, he's so fast and good at his job. Oh my God, how does he do it? Well, he's breaking several laws, but that's fine. I want to backtrack a bit because I said I think United Healthcare and Cigna. United Healthcare is getting sued for the denial rate and for their out of care shortcomings. But I think it was Cigna who is actually getting sued for just denying things denying claims without reading them. And in fact, it sounds like there were several parties guilty in that organization.
Alex, on that article,
or accused,
did they talk about the compensation that guy was receiving for denial claims? Was his compensation tied to how many claims he denied? That would be even a terrible fact, but interesting.
That's insane. If that's true.
I don't think so, and I don't know if that's the case or not. Although I would say that inherent in a system like that, they tend to, at least on my end, I know that I have productivity metrics that I'm supposed to be reaching. I'm sure that a lot of insurance has a lot of the same stuff. They expect their doctors to review a certain number of claims a day or a certain number of claims a week. And I would suspect, because this seems to be a really common problem when you end up with arbitrary metrics like that, that there might be bonuses associated with hitting certain productivity metrics. So it's not that he's getting it per denial. It's that if he has or he or she, actually I think it was a she in this case, is Dr. Dopke. Hang on, let's name and shame this person. Dr. Cheryl Dopke. I think with her name like Cheryl, I think it's a lady, but Dr. Cheryl Dopke.
That's a hall of shame.
Fuck that
we
person.
Should start the hall of shame. Yeah, she's in it.
Dr. Cheryl Dopke,
for sure.
near the top.
Yeah, welcome.
Her name is in a ProPublica article all about her denying 60,000 claims a month. I don't mind. She's already on the shit list.
I was going to say, I don't think that's libel if it's been done already, other than us just jumping onto the pile. No, that's absurd to me, because that is a doctor reviewing, quote unquote, reviewing those cases.
She should probably have her medical license taken away, but she won't. This isn't one of those things, but...
It's not. Yeah, I was going to say it's not in relation to medical practice, so I doubt that's the case. That's the kind of thing where you should just lose your job. But who am I? Getting back to John,
the employer loves her for this. They're like, "Oh, you've been doing this for years, and you've only just gotten caught."
You got recognized in a ProPublica document
for doing your job so well.
Now that there's a giant lawsuit, maybe not. I don't know. I mean, obviously it's national news, so maybe not.
Depends on if they lose and how much money they lose. And if from their perspective they look at it and they're like, oh, well, I mean, we only ended up having to pay like $5 million, but because we didn't have to review these claims, we got 60,000 done in a month. Well, I mean, $5 million here, $5 million there, that's a speeding ticket.
That's a speeding ticket. Oh my God. Yeah. And that's so cruel that what is supposed to be an industry that helps people or claims to would realistically have that kind of perspective. I don't know. I can't wrap my head around it. As someone who is in an actual, I can't think of the term. What's a word for when you care about people?
Empathetic. Empathy.
Empathetic. As the host, I'm doing such a good job. But to do the opposite of that. That's an MD or a DO,
but
right?
That doctor
who's reviewing those cases.
But that doctor is so far removed from these people. In addition, we've already pointed out it's not possible for her to have reviewed any of the claims. She's just pushing the nope, so that she can pad her own pocket in the pockets of the company. And so I obviously have not read the lawsuit or looked at it in any meaningful way. But it would be hard. I would be hard pressed not to believe that there is something about this that's tied to her compensation, and she's not going to lose her job. She just won't. I mean, they're happy with that.
like Alex was saying, is that bonuses are usually like there's a metric where you have to hit a certain number. And so for doctors, for example, we have certain screenings and percentages, how much of people's blood pressures are at goal, how many people's A1Cs and diabetes are well controlled, how many people got their colonoscopy. And then our bonus is tied to that arbitrary number. So there's a lot of ethical issues with just paying based off that. When people are coming in and they don't give a shit about their colonoscopy, they're worried about their knee that hurts. And then doctors are forced in 10 minutes to figure out, okay, how do I feed my family while also practicing good medicine? So corporate medicine, we'll have a whole talk about that. That's a separate discussion. John, you're our guest. I want to talk to you. Why is insurance evil like that? I'm just kidding. But
want money?
I think there's a good question in there, Dan, of John, do you, as in your role as an insurance actuary for a health insurance company, do people in your industry or you in particular feel like you are part of like the health pipeline, like that you are part of keeping people healthy, or does your job not make you feel that way? Do you feel more like you're in it for something else? Not you personally, but like the industry or like the way that the systems are set up. Is it encouraging you to act one way or another, do you think?
Well said. Thank you. That's exactly how I wanted to phrase that.
Yeah, that's a great question. I mean, it seems like it's so far removed because we're not facing customers. We don't see how it actually affects them every day.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like, this is very high level. But when we come up with like our premium raise, we're not really even considering the customer. It's mostly how do we stay in business and compete with the other carriers that work in our state or that operate in our state. But like the biggest protection that customers have is the Patient Protection and Affordable Care Act, which limits the premiums that we can charge based on the claims that we've experienced. So that's called a minimum loss ratio requirement. Which I think is 80%. So we have to pay at least 80% of the claims. 80% of our premiums have to be used to pay claims. And the other 20% can be used for expenses. And anything that we pay, if we pay less than 80% of our premiums and claims, we have to issue a rebate. So health insurance wasn't naturally that way. It didn't happen until after the PPACA was passed. So there isn't really like an intrinsic motivation to do something amazing for people. It's basically required by law.
Which seems, I mean, I didn't know that until you had told me that previously, that a certain percentage of the money they take in needs to go out towards paying claims. Obviously, insurance is a business in this country, whether and we can have that ethical discussion if we want, but ultimately, does that number, 80%, line up with helping people in the way we should, or do you think it falls short? You go ahead. I'll let you answer that before.
I mean, you can change that benchmark arbitrarily, but I mean, the higher that number is, the less money insurance companies can make. And I feel like there's a higher likelihood, like if the number is much higher, there's a higher likelihood that insurance companies will have to do like nasty stuff, shady stuff to actually make money.
Make a profit.
Which is ultimately the goal in a for-profit company.
Yeah.
So, question. You do the actuary side of things for like the major plans for companies, correct? To put it simply.
I'm sorry, can you say that again?
Like health plans that like employers offer their workers. Can you explain exactly your side of things? Because I think you don't do it for the individual, my healthcare plan I pay out of pocket for Jeff. It's more for, I don't know, somebody name a business, Fry's.
Yeah, I mean, like if Fry's has,
or I should say Kroger, because people are just going to think Fry's is another name.
Yeah, so if Kroger has a health plan, it's probably a really big company. They probably have it through another really big health insurance company. They offer group insurance. Kroger will probably subsidize part of the premiums that their employees have to pay for their health insurance. I'm guessing since it's such a big company that they have an administrative services contract with whoever the health plan is, which means that Kroger is actually the one that pays the claims, or they're the ones liable for the claims, but the health plan that they have a contract with is the one that administers it all.
Oh, I see. Okay. Ooh, that gets complex. I don't even know what question to ask there. Man, who thought health insurance was going to be?
It's almost
so
like
hard.
so
it's almost like
complicated.
Kroger. We're using Kroger as an example. We don't have any.
Yes.
Corporation X is essentially self-insured, but uses Corporation Y to administer their self-insurance program. That's the short version of what John just said. So
Right.
There are corporations that will administer your health plan as you have structured it, so long as it's within, federal and state statutes. Does that sound right, John?
That's right.
Okay, cool. I'm just interpreting for my brother and everybody else who's like, what the fuck did John just say?
I appreciate
it. Because, well, when you understand it and you explain it, these are really complicated, complex issues that have been they're complex to begin with, but I'm sure to some degree they've been made purposely obtuse by higher levels trying to make it difficult for anyone and everyone to understand. I guess
legislators?
Legislators.
Yeah, for
like
example.
Anybody who stands to profit from this.
Lawyers.
Fucking hate those people.
Now,
Alex, you work on like a medical side of, with claims and
I do
basically
all health insurance appeals, basically, which is also something that came out of the ACA. Is that a lot previous to this, when you would get a denial from a health insurer, some of them had actual internal appeals processes that were reasonable or that like had something, but not all of them did. And after the ACA, there was a process that was a set of requirements that they added, basically saying you health insurers have to provide more information to customers about why their claim is getting denied, and you have to give them and make them aware of their right to file appeals to appeal your determination.
Well, that wasn't a thing before.
Yeah, it wasn't. Up until like 2011, I think, is when the ACA was passed that came into effect. It might have been 2013 when it actually kicked in. But yeah, so it's only like in like the last 10 years that became a thing. Now, here's the thing. This sounds really great. I have a massive problem with it for one reason. Who is the body that determines whether your appeal is correct?
Oh,
the insurance.
Jeff? Oh, no, it's
there's
the insurance
not
company?
an independent body. It's an entirely internal review process up until, and here's the thing, I almost wish the ACA didn't require an internal appeal process now, because what ends up happening is that you end up having to exhaust the internal appeal process, and it actually acts as a barrier to you accessing the legal system. Because in order to access the courts, you have to exhaust the internal process of the insurance.
So it's another hoop
unless
to
they
jump
are
through.
behaving in bad faith or something like that. But yeah, so I have to file 2 rounds of appeals to insurance before I'm allowed to go to a court and say, hey, they're not paying my bill.
So InsureCode just drags those out as long as humanly possible for 2 reasons. One, to make it more costly to make the challenge and have a practical or pragmatic analysis of it. Or in the alternative, just to be stonewall a-holes and tell you that we're going to do it every single time and you're going to have to take us to court. And so at the outset, then Alex knows how much this is going to cost his client and whether it's going to be worth it at all to deter smaller claims from making their way to court. I mean, that's just and that saves them money because
that's what they do, right? They just hope
they
you
just
give
have
up.
lawyers, right? They've got lawyers that they pay peanuts that work for them, by the way. And I know more on the casualty side, like John had said, than I do on Alex's side. But I'd say 6 of one, half a dozen of another. I'm sure that the modus operandi is just the same.
No, it's it is their explicit strategy to delay and deny as much and as long as they can until they are at the point where they feel like they are forced to pay. And they're incentivized by a couple of things to do that. One of the big things is that for us, if I submit something late, we lose. If they submit something late, I have to go ask the court nicely to make them talk faster. So
why is that a thing? I don't understand.
No, there's so the insurance. So like, let's say I file a claim with the insurance. They have, technically, there is a deadline that they have to respond. And so I'm mostly working with Medicaid and Medicare payers. So a lot of those contractors, they are private insurance that has a structured business that is, so it's like, I'm still working with UHC. I'm just working with their Medicaid MCO version of them. So they have a bunch of different sub companies. But
so what Alex was, I'm sorry.
No, but under that, they're required to like respond in 30 days. But if they don't respond in 30 days, my only recourse is to go ask a court to make them respond faster. Mm-hmm. Then when they do respond, I have 30 days, maybe 60 days if I'm lucky, to respond back. And if I don't in time, they get to deny the claim permanently.
So something Alex said earlier is that that because the way the legislature drafted that, and John says it's great. I differ from him on his opinion because of some of the things that Alex is talking about. That the insureds are in charge. It was part of the compromise of this bill is that the insurance companies run the show on these appeals and the litigation because they know either, a law firm might miss a deadline and oops, oh well, tough luck, because the court's not going to grant relief because it's the way the legislation's written. So it's the insurance companies literally driving the bus on how that process works and giving them that much power and authority.
Thousands of claims, and when you're talking about so much money, and also another thing the insurance loves to do that drives me nuts when it happens to claims I'm working on, they'll fracture a claim into multiple smaller pieces, and you have to work on each of those parts or find them all and put them together in order to actually work on that. But if you miss one piece of it and they didn't have a denial in there somewhere that you missed, you're done. It's over.
Oof, okay, so this feels like a very one-sided uphill fight, and it's not just this. When I became a doctor, I thought I was going to wield this power of the pen and just be able to make shit happen, and on some level I do, because when I finally request a peer-to-peer, I'm talking to another doctor, not a bureaucrat with a motive. And usually, I would say out of all the peer-to-peers I've done, probably, 2 or 3 dozen, I've only had one doctor who was an a-hole, who was really like, oh, well, have you considered this? I'm like, yeah, we did that like 6 months ago. Where did you read my note? Do you even know what you're talking about right now? So out of all of my experiences working with other healthcare professionals, which, by the way, I don't know how you end up working for an insurance company. I'm not going to speculate on that. Those have been positive. Everything up to that point has been a fucking nightmare on my end because patients just get this letter. And I swear to God, insurers do this on purpose. They expedite mail the denial to the patient and they snail mail it to my office. So I get an angry call a couple days after I see the patient saying, it was denied. They said you did your job wrong. No, I didn't. But I'm glad you told me, bring me that letter so I can go to war for you. And that's where I feel like insurance companies frequently pit patients and clients against healthcare professionals, and then they're moving this is why insurance sucks. They make it obtuse, they make things difficult. So I know you're not on that side of things.
Incentivized to make everything worse.
John had something to add earlier. So
John, first off, did you have anything to say? Do you have anything to say for yourself?
Can you defend this toxic industry? Go.
Can I defend
that
it?
You work for?
I will not defend those practices.
Oh, okay.
Those are scummy practices.
John is my friend. I don't hate him, I promise. I'm just going to pretend I do for about an hour.
Yeah. Totally reasonable.
But my thought is this. With these things being purposely made difficult, obstacles being put into place, laws that are meant to make things easier being purposely used to make things more difficult, I'm going to do what I normally do to Alex, because Alex gets it enough. How do we fix this? John, all of these complex problems in this incredibly difficult environment, how do we navigate and come up with a solution? Go.
Oh, man. It's going to involve a lot of legislation, probably.
A ton.
John's sitting here like, I know nothing. That's not my job. I just set the prices for companies. I just crunch numbers.
I would start by listing all this out and like having a really well understood. I just have a really good understanding of why these practices are bad and how they're affecting patients. quantify, get stories, and then use that as a jumping off point for talking with legislators, being like, "Hey, this is happening. It's garbage. Why are you letting this happen?"
So, Pat, do legislators have an incentive to fix any of this? I mean, let's say we do that. Let's say we take this complex issue, these obstacles and problems, and break them down in bullet points and outlines and make it really easy to understand why these are being abused or why they're being used to basically delay care, increase profits, etc. Will legislators care enough to do anything?
Well, I think there are plenty of legislators that would care enough to do something. Here's the bigger problem, especially at the federal level, now that the federal government has taken essentially the entire taken the power and authority away from the states to do anything individually by that sweeping legislation. You're left with the federal level to make the decisions, and that's absolute gridlock. In addition to the fact that, we have a Supreme Court case that says corporations can give to legislators as much as they want. So those large-esque insurcos drove a lot of that legislation back in 2010, 2011, and had significant input in putting those two bills together and in the House and the Senate, and then coming up with the final thing that was before Obama. I have an answer for the fix, but your question is very pointed and to the answer as to why the fix won't work. We no longer allow insurance companies to be for profit. They can't be because they're profiting off of the misery of human beings,
off of suffering,
suffering, physical, mental, emotional. They're profiting specifically off that. But then should we do that for the lawyers too? I mean, there's a slippery slope there, but that's the response, or at least my knee-jerk response is, we shouldn't be profiting off of human misery, but certainly insurance and how we do things in our country is something that's important to people. But the fix is that these can be not-for-profit companies.
Correct.
To
yes,
do
right,
that.
There we go.
To fix that problem. And so there wouldn't be profit driven. It could be care and result driven, like you're suggesting, Dan, in some of your comments. And that would be my solution to it if I was in charge and could wave the magic wand, which obviously I'm not. So
when one of us rules the world, we can fix things.
Right.
But
yeah. Okay. Let's hope that doesn't happen.
What was the name of our podcast again? Anyways.
Overqualified idiots. Yes.
It's true.
I got to talk nicer about myself. I'm smarter than I think I am. Anyways, go ahead.
Well,
so with all of that being said, I'm going to spin off into the other subject that I wanted to talk to, if I could, right now, Dan. Something that John might not be able to touch on. So I've said casualty insurance. So we're talking more along the lines of personal injury. And here's one thing I want to point out, and this is why this is important, I think, to talk about. Insurance companies, these larger ones especially, and I'm not going to name any names, State Farm, Allstate, whoever, all of them do this. There is a psychological approach to settling personal injury claims. They have a card as to, based on each case, what they should offer, how low they should offer to psychologically beat down the person that was injured, whether it's their insured or not. So they come into these where people have hundreds of thousands in medical bills alone from the injury they sustained in an accident that was not their fault, and they should be entitled to recovery, and they will offer them $5,000.
So
now let's just let that sink in. Jesus. Hundreds of thousands in legitimate medical bills to be reimbursed that have not been paid by anyone yet, because health insurance isn't going to kick in until the casualty insurance or the car insurance kicks in, right? So just so we understand, this is why it's important that we explain it, because it's something that's hard to follow.
Yeah.
$5,000 for your already just the medical bills, not pain and suffering. We're not even talking $5,000. Mm-hmm. They do that as a psychological ploy to get the person to think that they don't have a claim and pit the plaintiff against their lawyer, something that Alex had touched on earlier, in that same way, to pit the insured against their doctor. So they play the public against the people that are advocating for them in order to undermine the claim. And it's all psychology. It's all simple psychology. So we have to prepare, forget the video. We have to prepare for...
I like your face on that one, though.
We have to prepare people for those eventualities. So Dan, but it's you have to prepare the insured. You have to prepare the client for what their game is going to be, so that they know that you're looking out for them and that you understand the process. Now, I don't practice in personal injury, but I discuss these concepts and how to attack that psychology from our side to make them feel like make those insurance adjusters that'll come there with a straight face and make those shitty offers to say F you and ask for more than policy limits, and that we're going to go after your insured personally, and here are their assets, and here's what we're going to collect from them if you don't pay our claim. So they've got to have their insured there for these mediations, or at least keep them informed of what these proposals are. They don't represent them. The attorney that represents the insurance company only represents InsureCo and their interests, but they're supposed to look out for their insureds, but they're really looking out for InsureCo's bottom line. So,
yep. And that's the thing. I try to have those conversations. Right. I try to have those conversations and prepare people, especially ones who walk in wanting a therapeutic MRI. But if it's indicated, it's indicated. Mm-hmm. It's like this concept of insurance. So it's not just health insurance that sucks, is what Patrick's is saying. All insurance sucks. Got it. But when patients come in and it's something that I think is medically necessary, they get a letter in the mail that says your doctors recommend something that has been determined to be medically unnecessary. That language is exactly what happens is they go, you did something wrong. You, my doctor, didn't do your job. The insurance says you did it wrong. And that psychology is seen in my side of things too. So ultimately, they all suck. I try to prepare a lot of my patients for that. Obviously, I don't always have the time to go into as great a detail. But even January 1st, when all the insurance companies reset and premiums change and plan coverage changes and preferred medications changes, part of me thinks, yes, they're trying to save, nickels and dimes on medication choices. But I also think they're purposely trying to move the goalposts so no one knows what the hell is actually going to be approved plan to plan to plan, to keep things convoluted and difficult, not just for the patient, but also for me. Because 2 days ago, this medication was approved and fine, and now it's January 1st and it isn't because reasons. So it's very frustrating, I think, on all ends, that psychology game that a for-profit company that is designed to help somebody in a who is suffering and in a position of, I don't know, mental, physical, emotional anguish, as you said, who just deserve to be made whole.
Right.
So, John... I never heard, how do we fix this? No, I'm just kidding. I guess my thought is, what thoughts do you have? Because I just value your opinion as my friend more than anything else. I know your side of work, what you do, and what an actuary is, has very limited role to play in any of this. So as much as I wanted to bully you, I can't. So
I mean, you can if you want. But
I'm trying. I was like, obviously, you're at fault here. You're the one causing all. No, but... You're like, I'm just sitting in front of a spreadsheet 8 hours a day.
Exciting.
I'm just being bad at math for 8 hours. It's fine.
I'm being mediocre.
You can say what you want to say.
Mediocre is all you need.
Good enough is good enough. I don't know.
So
Did
Dan,
you have any thoughts, man?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Alex. I asked John a question, but you can pipe in. That's fine.
Sorry, John, I'm going to step all over your time. No, this is just playing off of something that I feel like Pat mentioned as like a solution of like, how do we fix this kind of thing? And like getting at something that is more broadly an issue of the way we handle a lot of these systems is that we put a lot of barriers up front in order to try to prevent like overutilization or to prevent fraud for that matter. Like when you're saying that, oh, this wasn't medically necessary, blah, blah, blah. We're putting all those barriers up front and denying payment on that side of things. And one alternative that I have heard about and that I think is more reasonable in a lot of ways is to require, even if you don't think things were medically necessary, that you are required to cover and pay up front and then allow for investigation and looking into it on the back end to pull that money back if it actually was improper, but at least make it so that it's in the insurance's court to actually like try to follow up and figure out these negative claims instead of giving them an incentive to deny everything, that they're kind of pushed to accept things up front and then follow up on the back end rather than upfront denials and keeping people from getting paid at all.
Got it. So make them earn the money they want to keep, essentially.
Make them prove the money they want to keep.
For profit. Yeah, instead of in a for-profit model, put the burden of proof on the insurance companies. From a legislature standpoint, and as complex as the issues are, I would love to know what that'll end up looking like. But I guess the takeaway is write a letter to your congressman or congresswoman and try to spell out these issues. I mean, that's the thing too. It's like we have and complain.
Complain to the Department of Insurance for your state. Like. If like the Department of Insurance might be able to do something about the problems that you're having, especially
can you expound on that a little bit? Because I know very little. What is that? I know I get the idea based off the name, but what? Expound.
So, well, I can really only speak for health insurance, but like health insurance is regulated both at the federal level and the state level. But like every year, health insurance companies have to file their rates with the Department of Insurance for their state that they're operating in.
Oh,
and
okay.
So like an insurance company has to get those rates approved, and the state they have like requirements that they have to like go through and be like, okay, these rates are fine. But like if an insurance company is not operating the way it's supposed to be operating, it's also like regulated by the Department of Insurance. So if there's something they're doing wrong, you can try and complain to the Department of Insurance. Like you can Google your state's Department of Insurance, and they'll have a number that you can contact them, and you can submit complaints to them about your insurance company. And I guess that's not a great solution, but if you complain, something might happen.
It's something. I mean, it's more than I realized a moment ago before you told me. So that's awesome to know. But yeah, it sounds like, I mean, there's these governing bodies, there are these medical organizations, I'm sure there are legal organizations that, when it comes to credentialing and accreditations and those types of things. These problems that are recognized and established, that our organizations as a whole should come together and appeal to legislatures. Now, I'm sure on some level that's happening, but I don't know to what degree. So, yeah, I'm not sure if you guys had anything to speak to that as far as who carries the most weight, can throw around the most weight to actually affect change.
The insurance companies.
Well,
United Healthcare is the fifth largest company in the United States, Dan. Let's not be this question.
I don't think they're going to really make any effort to change anything at this current rate.
No.
Yes.
What were you going to say, Pat?
They could put effort to change it in their favor.
That's right. Yeah.
That's the opposite of what we've been talking about. Oh, I'm sure it can happen, though.
So,
Dan, it can always get worse.
I don't like that. I don't like any of that. Okay.
Sorry, I'm talking over you, Pat.
Oh, no, you're fine. I guess from my perspective, these are pipe dreams at this point.
Well, okay, that's what I do. That's my thing.
No, I'm not disagreeing with you, nor do I think it's... I mean, I loved Alex's idea, too. Putting the onus on InsureCo to litigate their denial of claims as opposed to putting it on the insured or the hospital to raise and litigate the denial of claims. I would love to do away with PAs, prior authorizations. What an absolutely horrible conceptual thing that a doctor can't prescribe can't actually. So if I'm uninsured, then you can prescribe me that medication, and maybe it costs in total less money. But because I have insurance, my insurance company requires a prior authorization and has certain thresholds that may or may not be medically necessary, is the term of art that you use in yours. That it's disgusting when you have some of these problems, indeed, but it's almost deadly when you're saying that a doctor can't actually treat their patient the way they should be treated and what is the best practice. It's if you're interfering as an insurance company with the best practice, that is the point at which the legislature needs to step in and fix that, because doctors should be able to practice medicine. And I think insurance companies prevent that on a day in and day out basis. That's the biggest issue. That's the number one. And that's one I think that actually could be addressed. And yes, you got spit and vinegar PJC today. So
Yeah.
I love this is a
to go off your point, Pat.
This is spicy, Pat. I love it.
A lot of the insurers have they go with certain particular. I think I talked about this on the last episode, like Milliman Care guidelines and interqual criteria. They use sets of medical standards that they helped to pay to create in order to say, no, this is the medical standard practice. And if you're not following this, doctors, you're not doing the medically necessary things. And that's how they get around it. That's how they claim, we're just ensuring compliance with medical standards. And it's like, no, you're not.
Considering standards of care can change on a dime, I highly doubt that. And if it was created by an insurance company, I'm even more skeptical. That's right. I didn't know about this.
They're all way too narrow as well.
That's what they're doing, is they're practicing, let's call it what it is. They're practicing medicine without a license.
Yep.
They are saying you don't need a medication. You don't need a screening.
Be careful, though, because they do, like you've already said.
No, they employ physicians.
I think they're being, they have employed physicians, which means that they have people that are on staff that are giving them this information and advice, but they're not boots on the ground. I think that's the distinction you could make. That makes the most sense.
We have doctors hitting deny without reading the claim.
No, I'm not. That's why there's a class action litigation. But I'm saying in the normal course, in the normal course for someone who's actually reviewed it and saying, well, my judgment's better than the doctor that's sitting in with the patient. That's the little rub of the problem. Yeah, they should not be doing that, but they do have licensed physicians that are advising them. So you can't make the claim that they're practicing without a license, I guess.
Pat,
but it also seems like a conflict of interest that shouldn't be allowed.
Correct. Well, that's true too. I mean, ethically, this is fucked up. Just totally fucked up in my brain.
Oh yeah,
absolutely so screwed. But what are you gonna say, Alex?
No, Pat, you can have a physician, but if you as a business put rules on that physician that limits their discretion, that say, hey, if the guideline isn't met, you have to deny no matter what you think as a doctor. You can limit a physician's discretion to a degree that makes it so that you are practicing medicine, even if the physician technically has it, just by putting rules in place that force them to make non-physician decisions, like force them to change from, I would
to
make
become a businessman? To making a business decision, not a mental decision.
I agree with your argument, and I think it's better than the argument I'm making. However, I think it's the argument that Insurco has that they're always going to be able to prevail with, which is why I think making the distinction is a better choice in trying to further the argument. But I think that's a much better argument, Alex.
Yeah. What I would love to see is an actual argument or a case brought against them that they could get enough discovery to fully see what is the actual way they are training the physicians. What are the way that they are, what are the rules that they are putting on them that dictates their behavior to some degree or another. And they're going to try to claim, we don't dictate the physician's behavior. We don't tell them but they do. They just do it more subtly.
Oh, like they don't have quotas for denial rates.
Yeah, they don't have it written somewhere that there's a quota, but they say you have to meet this much productivity in a week or in a month. Mm-hmm. And how do you do that? By denying claims.
I call it job security, Alex. I call it job security. We're beyond the so-called state agencies that are there that will take another layer of claims. It's really up to the legal community to help police them. It really is. It's an obligation, I think.
Well, not to end on essentially such a negative note, we're past time, I think. So we
started late.
We started 9:15.
Did we? Oh shoot! We got a lot of pre-roll for me to sort through. All right,
that's fine.
Well, I'll tell you what, I do want closing statements to go to John because I brought him on. I would like him to be able to weigh in on things he thinks are important, uninterrupted, and that includes me. John, what do you have to add? I know that's obviously not your area, especially the last parts we were touching on. But I do it to Alex all the time. How do we fix this? What do we do? But what are your closing thoughts?
My closing thoughts are, wow, there are a lot of aspects of insurance that sucks.
Insurance sucks. In case y'all didn't take away the message.
And I don't know any, I don't have anything to do with the parts that really suck, but man, if you're having problems with insurance, please complain. Please write to your legislators, and hopefully it gets fixed soon.
Well, I I don't have any better closing statements than that. Do you guys have anything else to add? Anything burning issues you wanted to touch on?
I wanted to add one last minute correction to something. John can let me know whether I'm right on this or not. I looked into that minimum loss requirement thing, and there is a little trick to it, which is that the way that it is calculated apparently under the ACA is that it's the healthcare claims plus quality improvement expenses divided by premiums minus taxes, licensing, and regulatory fees. So that 80% number, not all of that 80% actually has to go towards paying of medical claims. They can put it towards business improvements and have a fair bit of it count. So basically every extra dollar over that 80% that they deny, they can just put it towards a business expense.
I don't
know if that
John, counts, but if it does, I feel really bad.
Yeah. That's this is Kaiser Family Foundation source for it, and they are very good on health insurance rules and stuff. I'll put it in the chat as follow-up.
What do you have to say for yourself, John?
It's not his fault, but
hopefully the company that I work for doesn't put claim
denials
towards that.
He's just repeating the propaganda that his company gives him. I mean,
it's true.
I understand that.
John, I didn't want this to go this way. I mean, I kind of did, but I didn't.
I mean, this is what you get for bringing on someone with the last name John Goebbels. Is that right?
Oh, God.
Doing your terrible propaganda.
I'm not going to say your actual last name.
Does it help? Does health insurance suck that much?
No, I'm sorry.
Actually,
wait. It systematically is sending a lot of people to their death. Well,
oh God,
at times it's criminal, in my opinion, but
I feel like as an outsider looking
or ethically bankrupt, either way.
There you go.
Yeah, there you
definitely,
go.
yeah.
This is the problem, because at the root of the issue, I guess this will be my closing thoughts, is that ultimately when you turn something into a business, the motive of all businesses are profit. We generally don't care. I mean, it's like what is it? No. Oh my God, what's the expression? No fame. What is it when people like you're famous? No press is bad press. Oh my God, that one. Yeah. No profit is ever bad profit to a business. So ultimately, if they're making money and they're not doing anything so criminal that they're going to lose money because of it, then they don't care. And I don't believe the flowery, feel-good, fuzzy commercials of "we're here for you, we're here to take care of you." No, you want my money. You want my business. And you'll do what you can to get it. And you'll do what you can. You'll try to get out of what you have to keep the money. So when that model is the thing that dictates you and your job and your overall mission, I don't see how you can have an ethical, sound approach to something like health insurance, to something like personal injury insurance. I just don't know how. I don't think they can be rectified. So that's my personal statement. Blah, blah, blah.
I just
not
wonder,
represent the views of Overqualified Idiots LLC.
I just wonder what of that 80% goes to pay Peyton Manning and Patrick Mahomes and
to come on and speak,
to come on and hawk their insurance company. But anyways.
Yeah, I mean, I guess you could really argue that quality improvement could mean bringing in more customers, because then you've got a larger base and it makes it easier to pay out claims in theory. I don't know.
Okay, let's not give them ideas if they're not.
What, you're going to give them perverted arguments, Alex? Stop it. They've got enough of them all on their own.
They've got plenty. I'm sure someone's made that argument to them before already.
Yeah.
Anything I could say. They've got 5,000 attorneys for every one of me. So,
yeah.
God. Well, it's an uphill fight. It's a fight worth fighting, though. I think ultimately, when it comes to quality of care, when it comes to outcomes, when it comes to people's lives suffering and making them whole, it is a fight worth fighting. So that's my closing thoughts.
Agreed.
All right. Well, I'm going to close it out if everyone's good.
I'm all set.
I want to go get lunch with John.
Were you about to say sushi?
I stopped myself. I'm kind of off the sushi train. I think I've eaten too much sushi. Thank you guys for being here. Thank you, John, for coming on. I appreciate your time.
Thanks, John.
It means a lot to me to have you here and to talk about these important issues. Thank you, listeners, for listening in, joining us on this journey. Follow along on all major podcast platforms. Subscribe, etc. Download the episodes. Follow us on social media. comment on the Reddit, the Facebook. What do you want to hear? If there are topics you want to hear more about, we're happy to talk about them. And until next episode, take care.
Bye-bye.
What are we talking about tomorrow, Dan?
Ethical dilemmas.
Oh, shit. Well, yes, we segued into that one, didn't we?
It's a hard swing, isn't it?
Yeah.